Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day. I'm having a phenomenal one. Just got back from Starbucks. OMG. And today I'm going to do a review of my Too Faced blushes. I have been doing a brand review of blushes here for a little bit. I did one a while back. Can't remember the name of the brand I did. This is really bad. And then today I'm going to do Too Faced. I also have JCat coming up. Wet n Wild, and a couple other brands that I want to surprise everybody with, but you'll see them as they come along. Alright, we're going to start with the darkest color here and go up to lightest. I'm going to do both finger swatches and brush swatches with these so you can see how the intensity works. First one up is Love Blush. I got these at the Ulta 21 Day of Beauty. They're very pretty. I still haven't knocked off the thing. I do like these a little bit. Goes a long way. This is a very warm purpley color. Almost mauve. This one, you can get intense. If you're not careful, you can kind of see how it's a little bit more intense in person, but not by much. I usually use this to kind of help me carve out the cheekbones because I don't tend to contour too often. If I do, only contour back here because I naturally already have some natural contour. So just to add a little bit, I use this as a deeper tone and then I come back with a lighter tone on top. So I really do like it for that reason. It's a very pretty color. And that one again was Love Is Your King. I said Love Blush in the beginning. I apologize about that. Love Is Your King. The next one we're going to do is Justify My Love. Now this is the one I usually use with the Just Love Is Your Love Is King. I use this as the topper. Now being fair skin, I find I can get away with doing this where I do the two-tonal look. I'll have the darker and then I'll use the lighter one just across here and blend it back into. It gives me a really natural flush look and helps with the contouring just a little bit. Like I said, I don't tend to do too much. We're going to do a finger swatch first. This one is definitely lighter. This one is a little harder to get on. It still has, it's a pinky purple. I find I still have to, this one does need a little building to get the color. That's why I like it as a topper more than an actual blush itself. That's about as intense as it's gonna get. It's more of a topper and a blender. Maybe if you're like white, I mean, like I said, I'm not true light white. I am not alabaster. I do have a little color to my skin. I tend to be considered ivory or like the second to lightest shade, maybe sometimes the third. I have a friend who is milk. Her skin is like the color of milk. It's white, and I'm dark compared to her, so I'm considered an ivory color. So I have a harder time having that one show up. I tend to use it across here and blending it in for a more natural look. It looks great. Alrighty, the next one we're gonna do is Too Faced How Deep Is Your Love. This one is very pretty. This one has a bit of a dual chrome effect. It's almost shiny. A couple of these have a shiny effect. This one's really mild shiny, but it is still there. This is almost a corally pink, but you can kind of see there's a reflex of a brighter pink. Kind of like coral is a cross between pink and orange. This is definitely coral, but it has a reflect of higher pink, more like a magenta pink sometimes, so I do like that. This is fun. I tend to use this one again more back here than not up here. I don't tend to use any of these as the other one I grabbed from other piles, or I blend it out really well. It blends out very nicely to a light pinky. I don't know why I said purple. You can kind of see that's quite a bit of pigment with only like 3 swatches. So This one can go on very pigmented. You'll have to be a little bit more careful. But if you do get too much on and you go back in with powder, it does blend down. I have found that out from personal experience. And again, that was How Deep Is Your Love. Alright, the next one we're going to do, I do usually occasionally use this one with is How Deep Is Your Love. It's called Love Hangover, but this one is just as deep sometimes, so it doesn't always work out as well. This is Love Hangover. Again, this also has, where this one is more warm, the other one's a little bit more cool. This is more rose tone, where this one is more coral tone. And you know what, in the end, I'll swatch all these together so you guys can see how they swatch differently. And there's that again. Like I said, and if you put too much on, these guys do well with a powder blend down. But once it's very pigmented, it's very easily to put too much on. And that again is Love Hangover. Sorry about the shaking. My camera is literally on my table. Okay, the next one is Baby Love. Now Baby Love is pretty deep for a color. It's very flesh tony. It's almost got a burnt look to it. It's not as intense as some of the other ones, which I kind of like. I can blend it in. You know how you get that sunburnt look and it starts to fade back to your skin color? That's what this reminds me of. I think Tara Babies, who loves that look, would absolutely love this. It makes for a beautiful blush though. It's very natural looking. Very light, natural looking. You can kind of see the difference there. I use this also sometimes as a contour, but sometimes I use it on my whole cheek. I just blend it out very carefully towards the top. And then the last one of the 6 they have, though they have limited edition colors, and I don't have any of those. There's been a couple of them. I wish I'd had the money. We'll be honest, the money. We all only have so much money. We work, but you know, bills do gotta get paid. This one is called I Will Always Love You. This is another one that is just very different. It's a two-tone orange. It's got some shimmer in it, but it blends out beautifully when it's not a true orange, but it's got a lot of orange shimmer in it. But when you put it on, it's supposedly a really light coral color. It is just so pretty, and you don't get the shimmer as much as you think. You definitely don't need a highlighter over this one, I found, because it actually has some natural reflex in it. Right now, Becca has that two-tone highlighters. This kind of reminds me of it. This one's a great blush topper. I put it over the top of Love Blush as a good duo. Definitely liking that for that reason. One thing I will tell you about wear time with these, the lighter ones you get about 9 hours, maybe 10. And that's without any primer or anything, you guys. They are long wearing. They tend to stay. As long as you aren't one to touch your face all day, because if you do that, no matter what kind of blush you put on, you're going to wipe it off eventually. But I found without primer, I'm getting 9 hours. If I put primer on with all of these, 12 hours easy. I've fallen asleep and it still was on the next day. What the freak? The side that wasn't on the pillow, rubbing off on the pillow, though there's sometimes traces still. I find that I still have makeup on when I wake up. I know, don't fall asleep with makeup on. It's not a good thing for your skin, but sometimes you're just that tired, or you've had maybe one too many and brain not working and you just want to sleep. We all know how that is. Or some of us know how that is. If you don't, it's a situation that does occasionally happen. Especially when I lived in Wisconsin. So yeah, I've been trying these for a while, really loving these, and I did say I would swatch all these for you guys one last time next to each other so you can see the difference. I'm just going to do finger swatches. So the first one I'm going to lay down is going to be the last one I reviewed, which is I Will Always Love You. I'm wiping my finger off on a slightly damp cloth in between. So, and then drying my finger. The next one will be Baby Love. The next one will be How Deep Is Your Love? Okay, here's the Baby Love. How Deep Is Your Love? The next one will be Justify My Love. I'm just grabbing them off the table in the order that they're there. Sorry, you guys. I should be looking up and talking to you while I'm doing this. My brain is just too much caffeine, and now I'm ready to bounce. That's what I get for going to Starbucks and getting a full size, right? I got a Venti caramel macchiato frappuccino, and I'm ready to go. Okay, the next one is Love Hangover. And of course, last but definitely not least of my current collection of Too Faced blushes. Like I said, they've had some limited editions. I wish they would re-release the limited editions because I would buy them. Okay. And the last one is Your Love is King. So that's, here we go. Here's Your Love is King. Then How Deep Is Your Love? Then it's Justify My Love. Then it's Love Hangover. Baby Love. And I Will Always Love You. You can kind of see how this is more berry tone. This is rosy. This is obviously a purple pink. This is these two you would think are similar, but this one has more shimmer. One's more orange, one's more pink. Definitely more of a soft rose color, and then of course the coral dual shift. And like I said, this has the shifting and this one doesn't. This is the pinky, this is the orangey version. So I think any skin tone, this is after one wipe and you can still kind of see them. Like I said, they've got really good staying power. For somebody who doesn't constantly touch their face and still has problem with blushes, and some blushes after a couple, there's some blushes after 3 hours I can't see them, and this one, they go all day. I put them on, I don't have to worry, they're still there later. Sometimes they're faded, I'm not going to say that it don't happen, but I can work a full 10-hour day and come home and still see traces of the blush. There are times I've gotten to lunch and I can't see it. And I don't tend to touch my cheeks. I'll do this one. I'm really bad with the eye rubbing. I'm trying to get better about not touching my eyes. But the cheeks I don't tend to touch. So it's one of those things. But that's my review of the Too Faced blushes of the Everyday collection. I heard they might be coming out with a limited Christmas collection. Oh, and they're coming out with the Vault. I don't have most of that stuff, so I might just order it, and then whatever I don't keep, I might put out for when I eventually do a giveaway. So, we will see, right? Until then, I want to say thanks for coming by, y'all. It's been great talking and hanging out with you. And until next time, remember, you do you. Bye!